right, guys, good morning. It is Tuesday. I'm in Las Vegas Contender Series tonight. But before, I wanted to do a brand new episode brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of UFC. They're in your corner with unlimited 5G data that will not slow you down. Hey, when we talk about slowing down, he may want to slow down, but the world ain't slowing down after what he did on Saturday. Terence Bud Crawford. After that, masterful performance against Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, you will have a number of suitors that want a piece of the Bud business. You want a piece of the Bud business. You want to fight Terence Crawford. One person that comes to mind, or that is very open about wanting to fight Terence Crawford, has been our champion at lightweight, former featherweight champion, Ilia Topuria. On the surface, right, it looks and feels to us, because to us, MMA is massive. It's huge. We believe the whole world pays attention to our champions. So on the face, on the surface, it looks like Ilia Topuria in our world, we saw Conor McGregor do it against Floyd Mayweather, who had won 49 fights. We saw him get it done. He was popular. There are a lot of similarities between him and Conor. Ilia, I mean. Why can't it happen? On the face. Then when you start looking into it a little bit more, you got to really start to be truthful with yourself and everything around it. I think Terence Crawford probably said it best when he was speaking to Ariel Helwani, and I will show you that clip later. I disagree to a point, but I do agree with him a little bit. One, Ilia Topuria started talking about him and Canelo before the fight. This is nothing new, guys. MMA fighters have been doing that forever. Hell, Nate Diaz said him and Bud Crawford next. I mean, that, right? Star power. Nate's a massive star. Boxing ability, for as good as Nate may be, him and Bud Crawford, that's not anything I want to see, because Nate doesn't knock people out. Ilia does. So you start going, well, maybe. Or you at least know that people can sell that. People can sell the idea that maybe he can knock him out. Would I bet that Ilia Topuria could knock Terence Crawford out? No chance. If I had to bet Ilia Topuria versus Terence Crawford, I'm betting Terence Crawford. I mean, he's the best boxer in the world, and this is what he does, and he's done his entire life. But we also knew that about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. We knew, right, deep down, that Conor McGregor was not going to knock out Floyd Mayweather. But because of what we had seen him do inside of the octagon, what we had seen him do to all those great fighters in MMA, when he walked into that ring, people thought he had a chance. He didn't really have a chance. Conor never had a chance against Floyd Mayweather. And it would feel that way with Topuria. But you could at least sell that there's a chance because of how good he is in boxing and how he knocks people out inside the UFC. Initially, I thought Bud Crawford would just no-sell Ilia Topuria, right? When you're the king and everybody's calling your name, you can literally just ignore them and nobody will say anything about it. But Bud Crawford isn't one to ignore stuff. Chael told a story about how his mom would pay kids to fight him growing up. Bud's from Nebraska, Omaha. This dude's a street kid. He ain't running away from a fight. So when a guy keeps yelling his name, he has something to say. This is what he told Ariel Helwani whenever he was on the Helwani show on Monday.
To be honest, I never even seen this dude fight. I ain't even gonna lie. You know, I'm not worried about that guy at all. You know, he's not nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor. Let's be real. Stop it.
So as you see right there, Bud's kind of saying, I didn't even know who Ilia was. Bud's saying, I don't even know who Ilia was, right? He said that he met Ilia Topuria at a UFC event, and Ilia walked up to him, shook his hand, and told him something. And then he said Ilia then goes to the internet and starts talking about knocking him out. He said, I didn't even know who the guy was. Terence Crawford is saying, I don't know who Ilia Topuria is. Listen, guys, I got to tell you something. I know Bud Crawford. I know Bud Crawford's sons. They wrestle. I know Bud wrestled. I know Bud loves MMA. I know that Bud watches MMA. That's where Bud's lying to y'all. He knows who Ilia Topuria is. Bud knows who Ilia is because he watches. And people in his circle know who he is because they watch. Because I remember going to one of his training sessions and everybody was talking, taking pictures. DC, DC, DC. I've been retired for 5 years. The sport's bigger today than when I was fighting. But them, they watch. They watch. He knows who Ilia is. I think that's his way of no-selling Ilia, saying this guy's not on the level. Because Conor got it done because he was a master star. I agree there. He's not Conor yet. He isn't Conor McGregor. He carries himself like Conor in a lot of ways. He's a true professional. People are tapped into him. His country loves him. So many MMA fans love him. But I don't think that he has that appeal of Conor McGregor next. So I see what Bud is doing. I said he's going, well, not yet. He's not there. But in terms of a real guy that can box, that's Ilia Topuria for MMA fighters. He has that ability. We saw Francis go out there and fight Tyson Fury, and that sold. Ilia Topuria, to me, is a bigger star than Francis Ngannou. Maybe I'm wrong. But right now, I think he was a bigger star, right, than Francis. But the reason people believed in Big Frank was because he could knock people out. And if you can knock people out, people will buy it with the chance that you could get it done against someone who may be superior to you in a certain skill set. Ilia responds to Bud. Now, hey, all of this seems petty, right? Ilia said, yeah, you say you're an MMA fan, but you don't even know who I am. Interesting. The first time we met, you told me good luck this week with your fight. Your memory fails you, and soon your chin will too. I'll represent the entire MMA community, pound for pound, number one in real fights versus the pound for pound number one boxer in the world. Hey, guys, Bud is saying it ain't worth his time. Bud is saying he's not on the level. But Ilia Topuria, in this right now, guys, is winning. He's winning because he has them talking about him. And every time, Terence Crawford speaks Ilia's name. Every time Terence Crawford addresses Ilia Topuria. Every time Ilia addresses Terence and he responds, Ilia wins. That's another step closer to getting to what he wants. Now, should he fight Terence Crawford? No. I don't believe that he's going to be able to handle Terence Crawford in a boxing ring. But I've doubted Ilia Topuria before, and he has exceeded everything I could have ever imagined inside the octagon. But when you look at what Bud did to Canelo, you look at what he's done over the entirety of his career, this guy's just next level boxer. And it's hard to step into that world and expect a guy from our sport, a guy who spent equal amounts of time grappling, boxing, wrestling, and everything else to go and be the guy that's done nothing but box his entire life. That's why we haven't seen it yet. And that's why our guys that go over to boxing after they're done with fighting do well, but they don't ascend to become world champion because there are kids that grow up with that being their life. The Dagestani said, hey, the reason guys are winning now is because we have no choice. This changes our life. In America or other places, you have an option. Terence didn't have an option. Not in Omaha. Terence had to make this work, and he did. That's why he is who he is today. I don't know. I don't know that this fight happens, but I'm telling you guys, every time we talk about it, every time they talk each other's name, the better. Now, granted, he was on an MMA program show with Ariel Wani, so clearly that was going to be brought up. But he's talking Ilia, and he seems annoyed by Ilia. So if I'm Ilia Topuria, I continue. I don't stop. I don't relent. I continue to speak Bud Crawford, especially when my next fight is announced, where all eyes are on me, and I'm out there promoting. I'm promoting my fight, but I'm also promoting the idea that I'm in line for a super fight in a whole different sport. That's what I would do if I'm Team Topuria. Because right now, they're winning. They're winning. They're winning because Bud has no clear person who he's supposed to fight next. So that leads to opportunity for a guy like Ilia Topuria. All right, guys. Hey, until next time, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my YouTube channel. I'm going crazy right now. We're doing more stuff. We're starting longer interviews. We're doing sit-downs. Guys, you'll be so excited and surprised at what we got going. We're working, baby. We're working behind the scenes a little bit right now. We're working. I know we've been a little slow. We're still working. And so is Ilia Topuria. At least his plan is in regards to Bud Crawford. Look, the boy's a double champ. I'm your favorite podcaster. And now I'm an official role partner. Fellas, whether you're in or you're out of that bedroom with your partner, significant other, you got to satisfy those needs. It's as important as it comes, guys. And one thing about Ro, when you're in that bedroom, Ro Sparks got you back with his long-lasting functionality. 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who just want a little more control of those erections. You know them old thing get away from you every now and again if you're not careful. And it don't take long either, because after they dissolve, they work in about 15 minutes on average. Hey, I love that. You gonna love that. So if prescribed, new sexual health patients, you get $15 off of your first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. So connect with a provider at ro.co/DCTV to find out if prescription Ro Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/DCTV for $15 off of your first order. Hey, y'all don't have to thank me yet, but you will thank me later when you get on those Ro Sparks. Let's go.